White medium star learn English through stories. The Crazy Mother. Level 3, intermediate duration, 30 minutes. Headphone narrator introduction. Welcome to Learn English Through Stories, Level 3. Today's story is called The Crazy Mother, a funny, touching, and exciting tale about a mother who surprises everyone with her wild behavior, but teaches her family the most important lesson of all. Now, relax, listen carefully, and enjoy the story. Let's begin. House with Garden Chapter 1, A Normal Family, or Not. In a quiet village in the countryside, there lived the Johnson family. They were a typical family. Mr. Johnson worked at a bank. Mrs. Johnson stayed at home. They had 2 children, Emily, age 14, and Jack, age 10. Everything seemed normal, except for one thing. Mrs. Johnson was a little bit crazy. Not in a bad way. She didn't shout or get angry. She wasn't dangerous. But she did weird things. Very weird. For example, one morning, she cooked spaghetti for breakfast. With chocolate sauce. Another day, she painted all the apples in the fruit bowl blue. When Mr. Johnson asked why, she said, "Because blue apples are happier." Emily and Jack were used to it. But when friends visited, they were always surprised. "Your mom is interesting," one friend said. "She's not crazy," Emily replied. "She's just different." Cooking Chapter 2, The Breakfast Surprise. One Saturday morning, the family woke up to a strange smell. Jack walked into the kitchen and gasped. There were dozens of pancakes on the floor. On the table. On the chairs. Pancakes everywhere. Mrs. Johnson was dancing around in an apron, flipping pancakes into the air like a chef in a circus. "Breakfast is ready," she shouted with joy. Emily walked in and said, "Mom. What are you doing?" Mrs. Johnson smiled. "It's National Pancake Explosion Day." "There's no such thing," said Jack. "There is now," said Mrs. Johnson. Mr. Johnson looked around. "Can we eat at least one pancake that's not on the floor?" "Of course," said Mrs. Johnson, and she pulled 4 pancakes from her hat. Automobile Chapter 3, A Wild Ride. Later that day, Mrs. Johnson had another surprise. "We're going on a trip," she announced. "Where to?" asked Emily. "It's a secret," she said, holding up a blindfold. They all got in the car. Mrs. Johnson drove. She had decorated the car inside with balloons and glitter. "Are we going to a circus?" asked Jack. "Nope," said Mom. "Are we going to the beach?" asked Emily. "Close," said Mom. After an hour, they arrived at a goat farm. "A goat farm?" asked Mr. Johnson. "Yes. We're going to learn how to make goat cheese and give the goats silly hairstyles." And that's exactly what they did. Jack braided a goat's beard. Emily painted a goat's horn, with safe, washable paint, of course. Mr. Johnson actually liked the cheese. They all laughed so much that day, they almost forgot how weird it was. Almost. Hospital Chapter 4, Something Strange Happens. One day, Mrs. Johnson didn't wake up early. She didn't cook anything weird. She didn't paint the dog or put googly eyes on the vegetables. She was just quiet. Mr. Johnson was worried. "I think something is wrong," he said. They took her to the doctor. The doctor examined her and said, "She's healthy. Maybe she just needs rest." But a week passed. Then 2. And Mrs. Johnson stayed quiet. Emily and Jack started to miss the crazy breakfasts. Mr. Johnson missed the silly songs she used to sing while vacuuming. One night, Jack said, "I want Mom back. The real mom. The crazy mom." Emily said, "Me too." Balloon Chapter 5, The comeback. 3 days later, on a quiet Sunday morning, something strange happened. Emily woke up and saw something outside her window. It was a giant inflatable unicorn. Jack screamed from the hallway. "She's back." They ran downstairs and saw Mrs. Johnson wearing a superhero cape, riding a unicycle while holding a tray of toast. "Did you miss me?" she asked. Everyone shouted. "Yes." Mr. Johnson hugged her tightly. "We thought we lost you." Mrs. Johnson smiled and said, "Even crazy mothers need a little break sometimes." Then she added, "Now help me decorate the living room with spaghetti. It's Spaghetti Wall Art Day." Brain Chapter 6, The Lesson. That night, the family sat together in their backyard, eating rainbow-colored cupcakes. Emily asked, "Mom, why do you do all these crazy things?" Mrs. Johnson looked at the stars and said, "Because life is short. The world is full of serious people. If I can make you laugh, surprise you, or help you see the world differently, even just for one day, then I've done my job." Jack said, "But people think you're weird." Mrs. Johnson laughed. "Being weird is wonderful. The world needs more weird." Mr. Johnson smiled and said, "You're the best kind of crazy." They all raised their cupcakes in the air and shouted, "To the crazy mother." Microphone closing words, narrator. And that's the end of our story, The Crazy Mother. She made a mess. She made people laugh. But most of all, she made life magical for her family. What did you learn from this story? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more English stories every week.